What's going on, YouTube and Fanatic family? We're back with another episode of the Snap Count. I'm your boy, the Stat Guy. We're going to get into all the things going on in the SEC this weekend, and we'll be right back with you after this intro.
No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The Fanatic. But we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The Fanatic, where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see.
What's going on? Another weekend of SEC football on the dock. Man, unfortunately, this weekend we got a light load with only 5 games in the SEC, but we're going to dive into it. First up, bringing my guy into the building, Mr. Shoddy Parker from Just My Damn Opinion. What's going on tonight, Shoddy?
What's going on, Stat Guy? How you living, man? How you living?
Pretty good, man. You be busy out here in the YouTube world. Got your own show. I see you everywhere else on everybody else's show doing the thing.
Yeah, man, it's my therapy, man. You know, I go through a hard work week, so I have this is how I decompress. One of the ways I decompress.
I hear. Our other guests tonight going to be joined by a Bama fan, Jonathan Lewis. What's going on tonight, Jonathan?
What's going on, fellas? Great week to be an Alabama fan. Sorry, Shorty, but it seems like
understandable.
Just Alabama versus Georgia, dude. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. It's good to be on that side of the fence, my friend.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Hey, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Well, fellas, man, let's dive into the action on the dock for this week. First up, we got Mississippi State traveling to A&M. What y'all fellas like about this game? What you got on this one, Shawty?
Oh man, this is a very, very intriguing game, right? I mean, this is not your same, Mississippi State obviously coming into the game at 4-1. I think Levy, the new coach, has done obviously a hell of a job just looking at their record. I think he's starting to establish a culture down there, and he actually has some players, and it's starting to show. I think he's one of the few coaches that is actually doing more with less. I really hate to see him in the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And also Texas A&M, at the end of the day, I just think they ultimately have a better roster, and I think they come out on top ultimately.
I got you. What you like about this one heading into it, Jonathan?
I agree with Shorty 100%. Look, this is not your granddaddy's Mississippi State team, right? So now Texas A&M does have some good things happening for it. Number one, it's at Kyle Field, which is one of the roughest places to play. I witnessed my Tide go down when they were number one there back in, I believe it was 2021, 2022 when I was there. So I know how that goes. I love Blake Shapen this year. I was kind of down on him at the beginning. I didn't think he was going to perform the way he's performing right now. In my opinion, he's performing as one of the better SEC quarterbacks as of right now. The matchup's intriguing to me because when you look at Blake Shapen, when you look at Marcel Reed, they're actually performing quite the same, to be honest with you. I think Marcel's a little bit more of a dynamic playmaker. Obviously, he's a little bit more of a clutch quarterback. And I agree with Shorty 100%. When you say, where is the real big advantage? It's going to be the roster talent right across the board. I think A&M definitely has that. But the 14.5-point favorite for A&M is a little deceiving to me, considering what we've seen from Levy in this offense this year. You know what I mean? So I believe this is going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be a 14.5-point spread. I think this is more along the lines of 7 to 10 at most, just my opinion. And it's a night game, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. The Kyle Field at night, like 109,000 people are going to be in there going crazy. For me, I think A&M's defense will just be too much. I think it's probably going to be low scoring. Now, if you're telling me before the game, this game gets into the 30s or 40s, I'm probably taking Mississippi State in that offense. I don't trust Marcel Reed as much as the quarterback trying to put points up on the board. But that Mike Elko defense out there in Texas A&M is nice. You think that's their advantage, Shawty, is the A&M defense?
Yeah, I mean, again, I say it all the time on a lot of shows. Generally, coaches, teams have that biggest leap in success that second year because people know what they're doing and they're able to play fast. They're starting to understand their schemes, and I think that's what you're seeing with the Mike Elko's team here. But I'm just going to be honest with you. This game is very, very intriguing. Like I said, ultimately I like Texas A&M roster, but I don't know if Mississippi State can lose that game. And I say that if they I know we don't count moral victories, but I'm just talking about their program.
Yep.
But if they can keep this game close or even win this game, this could catapult their program into a whole different stratosphere. I mean, they can be on a very, especially when you're talking about recruiting, they can be on a very early trajectory to really change the culture of this program real, real fast.
Yeah, no doubt. And I have to say one thing. I think this game, I'll be honest with you, I'm half tempted to tilt to Mississippi State. If it wasn't for one thing, Texas A&M's front seven, I believe it was against Notre Dame, their front seven tends to force the offense to go away from what it does best. I think that Mike Elko has going for him right now better than anything. The back end looks decent, but the front seven really forces you into awkward situations with the blitz packages. And I think that's where the real advantage is going to be is how does Levy and this young offense counter those dynamic looks from the front seven that Elko is going to give them.
Throwing the horizontally like he loved to do.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that's the thing with that Mississippi State offense is they got playmakers out there.
Yeah.
So they definitely got the weapons. If the O-line can hold up and let Shapen make the reads, they can definitely hit them with some stuff. And you talked about moral victories, Shorty, and I hate them, right? As a fan, I hate moral victories because I think when you're out here counting moral victories, it shows where you are as a program. But I definitely think they got one last week at Tennessee. I mean, I thought they had Tennessee pretty much up until about halfway through the fourth quarter. I thought Tennessee was probably going to pull it out. But, man, like you're coming off a moral victory. You can follow that up with another good competitive game. Keep this thing one possession. Maybe you got the ball late or something. That's, like you said, just another notch on the belt to continue build momentum heading deeper into the season.
Yep.
Do y'all think they need a win in one of these games, or is where Mississippi State are from not winning a single SEC game last year, really not being competitive in some of those? You think if they play everybody tough, that's good enough for year two, or you think they need to try to pull some of these out?
Shorty, let me answer this question for me. Is this game about money? Then you dang right. You better start winning some of these games. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what it comes down to. I know I want to say no, it could be moral victories, keep them close, and you improve in year two. But that would be, in my opinion, that would be a bad mistake to make because we did that for who? Sam Pittman in Arkansas. Sam Pittman, his first year, kept it close. Things are looking up for year two. He won one or two squeakers, and they're like, okay, it's moving in the right direction. And what happened after that? Right? So in this day of age, you got to win the games eventually.
So I agree with you 100%, but I'm gonna take that even a step further, Jason. Mississippi State, they are already like a better coach team than Arkansas.
Yeah. So
I think they are like he's come in and surpassed with. Granted, he hasn't record-wise because I think Sam Pittman had a 9-3 year. Didn't he have a 9-3 year? His second, third year.
Yep.
So that's a long way for Mississippi State to go. But just as a program, they just look like a better ran program. And it seems like they're on a faster trajectory than Arkansas ever was.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And we got Ben G getting in the comments, says that A&M secondary will definitely be tested more than it has yet this year. MSU definitely likes to throw it downfield. They will definitely take their shots. That is for sure. So do you think you're giving it to the crowd, the defense? What do you think's the biggest factor for A&M? Without giving away your prediction, what do you think if you were going to tell me you were picking A&M, what's your biggest factor for why A&M can win this game?
I think it's the D-line versus Mississippi State O-line, to be completely honest with you. I think it's, can Mississippi State handle the front? Because I know this defense is not simplistic, guys. If you go watch it, like against a team that's I'm not going to say one-dimensional because Mississippi State is by far not one-dimensional. They know how to run the ball, but their run game is predicated on their throwing game, right? So if they can't throw the ball, they won't be able to run the ball effectively. We already know that it's a trademark of Levy's offense already. And I think basically what it's going to come down to, in my opinion, is just basically forcing Levy to be one-dimensional. You're not going to be able to run the ball against us. We already kind of predicate that. So you're going to have to throw the ball down the field on us. I'm interested to see if he's willing to take that one high safety, one-on-one outsides, put his guys on an island. If he does, it's going to be some big risk. But at the same time, you cannot let Mississippi State start running the ball downhill on you, or you're going to be in trouble, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's why I spoke about throwing the ball horizontally earlier, because I think that's what he's going to probably try to use as an extension of his run game, because unfortunately he's not going to be able to run directly at their front seven. I think that's going to be the major difference. We kind of talked about it earlier. I just think when you're talking about total roster, I would say, I always use these numbers. Now, their first 22 may be very similar, and I would still give the edge to obviously Texas A&M. But when you start getting into that like 24 to 25, 26, 7, 8 players, that's when you're going to start seeing the difference. And that's when I think where you could probably see Texas A&M pull away slightly in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I got you. And I will say one thing, while Mississippi State needs the passing game to get going to open up the run game, it's just how their offense is designed. They do have two very nice running backs to tote the ball when they do run it. They got the speedster in Booth, who busted one against Tennessee and unfortunately got called back for holding it. I mean, he turned the corner and it was like he got shot out of a cannon. Second gear, bam, gone. And then they got the little power back too, 5'10", 230. And he don't look 230, so that thing's muscle. I do like their running backs for the running game they do have. But Jonathan, you're right. They definitely need to get the passing game rolling to try to get that to be effective.
Yeah.
So moving on down the slate. Next, we unfortunately got to have it on here because there is only 5 games this week. But next up, we got Kent State going to Oklahoma. And what's crazy, I am shocked when I saw the spread for this. 45.5 points, Oklahoma's favored by starting backup quarterback Michael Hawkins after the John Mateer surgery. Somebody give me your initial thoughts. What you thinking about this, about seeing Hawkins again under center?
Go ahead, Troy.
I think the reason the spread is like that is because we've seen what Hawkins can do. I think they like the potential, but I think they like the potential even better under this particular leadership that they have with the new coach. I can't think about the new OC who came in. What is his name?
Arbuckle.
Yeah, Ben Arbuckle. I think his skill set is very close to John Mateer. He maybe actually have a higher ceiling than John Mateer in certain aspects. So I can see why the spread is like this. And then with the way that Oklahoma's been playing defense, let's give them credit. I mean, they arguably have the best defensive front in the conference right now, one of the best in the nation. So I don't think Kent State caused them any problems. But it will be interesting to see how the quarterback runs this offense. I want to see if Michael Hawkins can come in and press the ball downfield and make some accurate throws, because he's going to be in there for the next 2 to 3 possible weeks, maybe 4. We don't know how, we heard the timeline, but we don't never know how a player is progressing and how things are going. So, he has to come in and show some bright spots. And I think this is a perfect team to come in and do it against this Kent State. So that team will still be somewhat, in my opinion. I got to take this little slight shot, untested in my opinion. I'm really looking forward to see what he does next week, but we got to go 1 week at a time.
And Jonathan, for you think even if the game gets ugly early, maybe the defense gets a couple scores or something, you're playing Michael Hawkins all 4 quarters, giving him as many snaps as possible, heading into because their next stretch it starts their 5-game stretch that everybody in the SEC has this year, where buckle up the chin strap. Here we go.
I'm interested to see how Arbuckle plays this. And here's why I say that. This is not the same game as last year when Texas came in and blew them out, essentially, right? You don't have 7 injured receivers, literally had 7 injured receivers. Like, you know what I mean? So this is definitely a completely different team. Their O-line looks better as far as Oklahoma and all that. And the reason why I say it's interesting to see how he plays it is because do you give away too much in a game against Kent State leading up to the Red River rivalry or shootout? I don't think so. I think you're not going to see very much out of Michael Hawkins, in my opinion, in this game. I think what you're going to see is him using his legs, very vanilla play calling, to be honest with you, because Kent State, let's be real, they have beat nobody outside of Gadsden State Community College of the Blind. Mermack is who they beat, to be exact. They got blown out pretty much by everybody else. Texas Tech, any other team besides Buffalo, they beat by 2. They look like complete garbage. So I believe this is more about, let's not give away our game plan against Texas, since we know that Hawkins is our guy. There's not much film on him this year, because I get it, they played him last year, but that was not under Arbuckle. That was under Levy. This is a whole different ball game now. There's not going to be a lot of film on him, right? So his tendencies will still be the same, but outside of that, I think this is more of OU keeping their players healthy leading up to the Texas game.
And J. Lou, that was the point I was going to lead to. I don't know if you see Michael Hawkins even uses his legs that much. I think you're probably going to see them really take, what I call get looks. They're going to put certain, because they play in Kent State. So I think you're going to probably see them take some shots in the passing game to give certain players some looks, because I don't think at this point they can afford to let Michael Hawkins be running around like that, because this is one of those games where you want to score 40 points and maybe get out of there with, maybe them scoring 3 or 6, but you want to get out of there ultimately healthy.
Exactly. No, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of where I'm torn. On one hand, you need game reps. I know he got a little bit of action after replacing Jackson Hole before things went bad for him, and he lost his job in a certain game at home that we don't need to bring up. But I mean, how much reps does he need? I mean, I'm sure he's been taking some snaps in practice, but nothing beats game reps, even against a bad team, especially heading in. But on the flip side, like J. Lou said, you don't want to give away all the honey. You don't want to show off because I'm sure there's going to be some things in the playbook that'll be different with Hawkins' skill set versus Mateer, even though they're very similar. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out Saturday and what they end up doing with the play column with Hawkins under center.
Yeah.
What did you? Go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like J. Lou said, I mean, it's I'm gonna say this. You're gonna probably go with Michael Hawkins into this weekend, and we're gonna be trying to find out some base things that you like and that you do very well. I mean, it's really that simple. Like I said, they're gonna be looking for looks, because we have the roster, we have the talent. It makes no sense to go out and try to, make this harder than it is. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Hawkins play 3 quarters and throw the ball, I'm going to be honest with you, almost 30 times. Because they want looks. But it's not going to be like we run complicated schemes.
Yeah.
But we want looks. We want to get a lot of looks at a lot of certain players. And to be honest with you, they definitely need to probably try to do something they haven't been able to do, which is run the ball too.
They got to get that run game going, man. Like better than what it is. They got dudes that can run the ball, in my opinion. I think the O-line has improved. I think this week you got to lean on this week a lot more than usual, because Texas, in my opinion, is not what everybody made Texas out to be, right? So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but if there's ever a time that Venables and this team can kind of come up and make a staple against Texas, it would be leading up into this Red River rivalry shootout, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think that's going to be the case with this. So I think there's just a lot of pressure on this game in general, because Arch Manning has not lived up to his name, right? So up to this point, outside of Sam Houston State, take that with a grain of salt, however you want to look at it. And a lot of the guys that we've been talking about have not performed the way we thought they would perform. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Not a shot at you. It's that guy. You look at Lenora Sellers and where this offense is. You look at Arch Manning. You look at Garrett Nussmeier, like LSU's offense. You look at Florida with DJ Lagway. Like, there is so much lacking in all these that, who's going to rise to the top? And I think this is a point to where Venables says, I got my defense where they're supposed to be. Our offense is improving. So we're moving forward here.
Mm-hmm.
How does that help us against Texas, though?
Right. And
that's right. That's why you got to go get looks. I'm sorry. That's why you have to have looks, Jason. I'm saying you don't take a kid like this and you come in and you just run, whether you're going to run against Kent State and all of a sudden expect to throw the ball 30 times, 40 times. That's why you want looks this game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I got you.
And I think for me anyway, it's never a shot if it's true. Like if I can't look myself in the mirror and say Lenore's hasn't been what we need him to be this year, like as fans, you gotta be honest with yourself. And when you're not, that's when somebody speaks truth into your life and you take it as a shot. But you're right, the quarterback class this year that was hyped up heading into the season has been disappointment after I mean, it's been a absolute battle.
And it's not just the SEC.
One. No, it's across college football. I mean, you can add Cade Klubnik to that list. I mean, there's Nico. You can add Nico, of course. Drew Aller wasn't what he was predicted, but I do love it, J. Lou. You brought up Texas. Obviously, Texas next week. So let's go ahead and segue. The Texas Longhorns are traveling down to the Swamp to take on the Florida Gators. Shawty, give me your initial thoughts on Texas, Florida.
Oh man, I think you know, as bad as we've been kind of on Texas, maybe not playing to their potential. They catching Florida at the right time. Florida is really reeling right now. They're on their heels, so I think it's no better time to go down to Jacksonville than just going to topple them on over. And I think that's what Texas is going to do, man. Again, when you're talking about rosters, we can say we won't and hate on Texas all we want. They got one of the best rosters there is. And I think this is going to be a game that it actually shows off. I don't want to tilt my hat, but I had Arch Manning for throwing for a certain amount of yards in this game. I already got him in my pick 'em. So I really feel good about Texas in this game. I think Texas is starting to round into form, man. I just think it's taking a little time. I think it's rounding into form, and this would be a good win to stack on their record. So I don't think they're going to have any problem with Florida this weekend.
And for you, J. Lou, has there been an update on DJ? Are we going to see him Saturday, or have they announced anything with that?
He's going to play. Like, you know what I mean? So he's going to play in the game. The boot supposedly was precautionary, just basically helping out a little bit. But look, I've said it from before the season even started. I said there was two teams in the SEC that are getting too much hype. One of those was Florida. Right? Because when you go back and you look at the spinoff of what happened at the back end of last season with Florida, they didn't really play many teams that had a pulse. They beat. DJ looked good against.
They beat their shining moments was they beat Ole Miss and LSU, both of which were probably overlooking them, and they caught them with a right hook. And it's like that's where all the hype came from, was those two wins.
And I'm going to keep saying it. LSU, as long as Brian Kelly's there, I don't know. I'm waiting to still see development from a quarterback. I'm still waiting to see certain things from LSU. Do they have a run game yet? Nope. You know what I mean? I could be at this all day long, guys. But I'm not here to talk about LSU. I'm here to talk about Florida against Texas. I think Texas, like you said, Shorty, is starting to round into form, to be honest with you. I think that us fans or media or whoever is looking at it and talking about this and gaining steam on social media, we tend to put too much on these guys early, right? So, after 2 games, everybody was writing Arch Manning off, saying he's nothing, he's nobody, whatever. Guys, there's a whole season to play here. There's not 1, 2, 3, 4 games, right? So if this game lights it on fire for the next 8 games, what are we going to say? He wasn't any good the first 4 games or 3 games? No. So I think you're completely right, Shorty. I think they're one of the most talented rosters when it comes to college football in general, to be honest with you, this year, because of the great portal additions to that defensive line that they went out and got, right? So, and the back end as well, a couple of guys there. But long story short, guys, Florida's not a good team. Billy Napier, he is fighting for his life. If he beats Texas in the Swamp, this could be a game-saving move for him. I personally think. And I think the bigger picture is if, let's say, Lagway gets injured or Florida gets torn up by Texas, does Lagway stay at Florida if he ends up getting re-injured or something like this? You know what I mean? So does he redshirt? I don't know what's going to happen. Well, he's past 4 games now, but what this is going to look like. But it could go really farther south for Florida, even though it's really south right now. So God help you if you're a Florida fan at this point.
Right. Real quick, before we continue on the topic, look at the guy jumping in. Thought he was going to be missing in action tonight. It's my guy, Coach. What's going on tonight, Coach?
What up, fellas?
Go on,
Hey,
Coach.
man.
What's happening? What's happening?
No, man. Hey, man. The missus wanted to take me out for my birthday, so
Happy birthday.
had to do it.
Yes.
It's tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully the Dogs can beat Kentucky tomorrow for my birthday. But I want to get in on that Texas Florida. Listen, I'm with you, Jonathan. If the Texas let Florida beat them at this point in the season, I'll be honest with you. I don't care if Lagway don't get hurt. I just don't think they're a good offensive team.
I don't
you know
either.
what I'm saying? I think they got a decent defense. And I don't think if Billy Napier makes it, if he don't make it, I don't think Lagway stays either way. Hurt
I
or
don't-
not.
So, and
But
that
is
was
Lagway that good?
I've never been super high on Latway. I thought Latway was pretty good. I don't think he can read coverages.
Yeah, I hate to say this. He is and I've been saying this, but I'm speaking. I'm making a blanket statement, but I don't mean it like that because I don't want to offend nobody.
Right.
But I think Lagway is what I be saying a lot of time about. He is a casualty of 7-on-7 football.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's what he's a casualty of. When these kids play this 7, they're not getting developed. You don't play real football like that. And he's a casualty of that and these spread offenses. I'm gonna leave it at that.
So it's funny you say that because I said the same thing about Malachi Nelson, and people called me stupid for that because I'm like, Malachi Nelson looks real good in 7-on-7 with nothing in his face or around him. But the moment that dude putting on pads and you having to make pre-snap adjustments or any of that stuff, it starts to look real shaky at times.
Right.
I mean, you look into your point, Shorty. I mean, really to your point. Go back to that LSU game when he had the 5 picks. It wasn't about the 5 picks. It was about what he looked like in those 5 picks. Deer in headlights when they were because Brian Kelly or not Brian Kelly, their new what's his name? Oh my gosh,
You're talking about Baker.
He did a really good job of disguising back end coverages, and that really threw him off.
Well, that's why I said, post snap. I don't think he is good at reading coverages because I was telling Shawty, like when he was throwing interceptions, it ain't like the DB was just in phase, made a great play. It was always somebody that wasn't in the picture that came and got, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he was missing a linebacker here, he's missing a corner that was dropping back here, he's missing the safety over the top. And it's like, bro, what are you looking at? Like you said, he did do a good job of disguising, but I'm like, once the ball is snapped, bro, like what you looking at? Like, and then one of the ones he tried to throw is in triple coverage. It's like, I get trusting your arm, but that's a little too much. You know what I'm saying? So now I started thinking he has to have some post snap, coverage reads issues. But again, I thought he was always good, but I was never like, oh, he's this super 5-star. Like when they won those games down the stretch last year, he didn't play great. He just was the quarterback on a winning team.
Thank you, man.
I was gonna say it was the defense winning them football games, and that's why Jay Lou, I asked you about the injury was because I was thinking because he's only played 4 games this year. I was thinking he was going to redshirt and sit out the rest of the year with an injury, waiting on Billy Napier to get fired. Because if they don't win this Texas game, it just goes downhill from here. You got A&M the following week, then you get Mississippi State. I think he's gone before Jacksonville when they play the Dogs, but I just think this is a bad look for Florida. Now you asked if we even think DJ's good. While I don't think he's a good quarterback, one thing I do know, there will be plenty of teams looking for a quarterback out of the portal, and DJ is a name. Whether he should be or not, he is a name. He's going to sell tickets. He's going to sell jerseys. And so depending on the school, there's a lot of schools that are like, oh, hey, we can go get this quarterback that's immediately going to sell tickets and jerseys. That's more money. Sounds good. Bring it on.
And
when you watch this Texas game from a defensive standpoint, the way you defend this quarterback, remember I said this, and this is what I was talking about early in the season. When you play a quarterback like DJ Lagway, that's based off of that kind of offense, you don't need the way you play defense. You can just drop people in passing lanes, and they get interceptions because he's making one read, it's time, and he got to throw it. So if you drop a defensive end into a slant zone coverage, a slant passing lane, it'll get picked 5 out of 5 times because he'll never see him coming.
That's what was happening
He's
in the
reading
LSU
that
game.
linebacker. He's reading that linebacker, running out there, running back to the flats or whatever way he want to manipulate him. And if you just drop anybody else into that passing lane, it'll get picked every time.
Yeah. So.
I personally, okay, so is this a good comp, guys? I'm not saying directly talented wise or arm talent wise. I have to say it. Is Lagway nothing another version of Anthony Richardson?
Smaller.
I think smaller. Yeah. I think he can pass. Like if you just 7-on-7, like we was talking about. Like
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
looking at the
arm talent,
underwear Olympics in the combine. I think he's definitely going to throw better than Anthony Richardson because he's not out there reading coverages. But when it comes to that, I think they about the same. You know, once you put the pass on, the defense out on the field, it don't matter that Lagway can, you know, make all the arm angle throws and he can layer it over the linebackers in front of the safety. It's you can't read the coverage, it's gonna always get picked. You know what I'm saying? So and he need to be in the offense, kind of like Ohio, like the Ohio State that had Justin Fields offense. Like he probably would look about like Justin
Oregon.
Fields. Or Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I'll comp that too is because, guys, Anthony Richardson was plagued with injuries in Florida as well.
Yep.
Like, so you never get to see Anthony Richardson for a full season ever. We're kind of seeing the same thing here. Like, we're really not knowing what we're getting.
Right.
So question for y'all. We've already seen a lot of coaches get that phone call on Sunday. It probably honestly happened Saturday night, but we heard about it on Sunday. Do we get another one this week? Is this Billy Napier's last game at Florida?
I think go back to something Shawty said earlier in the week. It depends on how they lose. You know what I'm saying? If it's a competitive game, I don't think so. And I'm not saying it saves his job either. It's just that it just gives them another week. But if they go out there, like I think Sam Pittman had another week until Notre Dame beat them 56-13. You know what I'm saying? If they had a loss, 38-27, I don't think they let him go the next day. I think he's still holding on to a string. And I think the same thing with Napier. It's like, okay, let's see what he looks like. And they come out and it's a, 27-17 game, Texas. I don't think he gets fired. But if Texas, hang 45 and they only get 17, yeah, he might be gone the next day, bro.
I always go ahead. I go last. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think there's a no-win situation when it comes down to it from a Florida standpoint. And look, the only thing I want to say to leave off of this is there's a running back in Florida that does not get enough love. Jaden Baugh is, in my opinion, one of the better running backs.
If he hit the portal, I want the Dogs to take a run.
They playing from behind too much, Jay Lou.
bro, like, look, I understand that, but I'm just saying I want to give the boy a shout out because as much turmoil as is going on there is they got, in my opinion, they do have potential on the back end with Cormani McLean sitting there waiting. Too much of an athletic freak to keep off the field, but I get it. I understand the situation there. But Jaden Baugh, man, I want you to know the rest of the SEC. We know you're there, bro.
Right. Sharpshooters getting in. What's going on, B Sharp? Appreciate you getting in, my guy. Go ahead, Sharp.
Say, man, I always, I hate to say it, but I always think we the game that's gonna get Billy Napier. It's all about how they play against us. Because now we go in and throttle them, it's definitely over coming to Atlanta. I think, this first year is going to be in Atlanta. And if we beat them bad, he may get fired. I think he'll survive the Texas game no matter what. I just stings a little bit more with how you play and win against Georgia, coming from a Florida standpoint.
Now,
could be.
Now, I do got a question for the panel, too. So when you look at all these openings with Virginia Tech, now Arkansas, you're right, all these head coaching vacancies starting to open up. Is it important if you're going to fire Billy Napier to do it sooner so you can get a leap on?
I was just about to say it. I think that does put pressure on ADs when they start seeing a lot of jobs opening, because not that all the candidates are going to look at the other jobs, but any candidate that's trying to be a head coach or move from a school, it's a lot of choices out here now, and you don't know what people got to offer. So you got to jump out there, because you try to wait till, let's say, the new portal window is in January sometime. Let's say you try to wait till after the portal window. All the good talent done been taken because they don't know you firing Bill Napier. So that's why I think what you just said, J. Lou, might play a factor. So they lose bad to Texas, lose bad to whoever they play after Texas. Like, they got to start looking at, dog. There's a lot of, especially with Arkansas firing, dog.
We talked about it before, Coach. I'm gonna put the conundrum out there again. I don't know if you remember we talked about this. Say for instance, you lose to Texas, however bad you lose to them,
Right.
but would you fire Napier after however bad you lose to Texas? But if you beat Georgia the same way you lost to Texas,
Well,
you
see,
wouldn't fire him after that.
this is the stat guy's point where we talked earlier. It's not just you play Texas in the next week you play Georgia. There's 3 more weeks in between. So I'm not just gonna give you a pass. I'm not gonna give you and then to Jay Lou's point, I'm not gonna because it's peer pressure. You feel me? Like if Arkansas job ain't open, UCLA job ain't open, Virginia Tech job ain't open, then you might get a little bit more rope. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know they had 3 games. Okay. That
yeah,
makes sense.
so they got I want to say it's Texas, then they got
A&M and
then Mississippi State, and them ain't no gimmies. You know what I'm saying? Nope. So you telling me
State playing.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
I can see. I stand correct. I didn't know it was 3 games in between.
Right.
That's why I'll be honest with y'all. I said it kind of half jokingly at the beginning of the year that he was going to get fired after they get beat by Mississippi State. But Mississippi State making me look real smart with the way they're playing right now. If he could just hang on 2 weeks, I don't know if he can. I think they could get beat bad this week, and he gets that call Sunday. But yeah, I've said all along I don't think he makes it to the game against Georgia.
Right, Benji says the current UFAD the one that hired Napier. Yes, the one I forget Scott Strickland. Yeah, he hired Napier. Yeah, he's been there for a minute. So it says who knows if he survives. Well, the thing is, he also hired the basketball coach, and the basketball coach didn't he just like go to a Final Four or something like that?
Yep.
So, you think about AD's money. Football makes the money, but you also what saved Ray Tanner for a long time in South Carolina was hiring Don Staley. You know what I'm saying?
One facet, the whole
right. So
program.
Stevie G getting in. What's going on, Stevie G? Appreciate you getting in. I think Napier saves his job and beats Texas. My Sooner shades our own horns. That's what I'm saying. To your point, Shorty, if they beat Texas, I don't care if it's a 1-point win. I think he gets life until the Georgia game, regardless of what happens in A&M and Mississippi State. But when you lose, especially if you're losing by multiple touchdowns, it's not good, bro. Because as good as South Florida is, it's still South
Especially
Florida.
with the remaining schedule, to y'all point.
Right.
Can I play fan for 1 minute? Just for 1 minute. From a fan, if I'm a Florida fan, right? From that fan standpoint, and I'm looking behind Lagway, I'm saying get rid of Billy Napier last week.
Because he ain't got no backup.
Dude, how is it going to get better is my biggest question.
Right.
What is going to improve? That's my biggest question to Brian Kelly. You're lacking running every year. There's certain things that aren't improving.
Well, it's a lot of schools out there like that, J. Lou. I mean, we could step outside the SEC. Cade ain't playing great, but what they're gonna do at Clemson after Cade?
Well, they have a 5-star backing him up, though.
No. Chris Vizina is not a 5-star.
I thought he was a 5-star. The dude,
no, he was barely he's like top 3-star.
4-star. He was a
Fringe. He was almost a 5.
Fringe 4. Yeah, I've seen him play. It's
all right. So, now that was a whole different ball game. Because don't get me started on Dabo either. That's when you probably don't want to touch. We'll be on here for 2 hours.
Benji says
he don't come. I respect what he said. And I don't know if y'all heard it, but I respect what he came out and said.
Oh, no, Dabo, what did he say?
He basically, it kind of because it reflects on us so much. That's why I respect it, because he just basically came out and said, I blame the coaching staff because we got the players. The fact that we just ain't came out and developed them and got them basically ready to play, it's the coach's fault.
So what you doing about it then, bro?
Yeah, we got to
figure it out. I'm just saying I respect what he said.
Well, if you're gonna say that, I mean, if your starting quarterback is that bad, are you replacing him and putting the second string in? If your coaches are that bad, are you replacing the coaches?
Well, he say he hired the coach. It's his fault. Now he said he ain't taking all the responsibility away from the player, but
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm just hard on him. I'm just on this.
And rightfully so.
Right. Stat, where we at?
Next up is gonna be Kentucky, Georgia.
Kentucky, Georgia. So the Kentucky, listen, I've been going back to Shorty because he called it back at SEC Media Days show. He said Kentucky was the worst team in the SEC, and at the time, I was like, surely they're not worse than Mississippi State, but Mississippi State ain't even in the bottom 3. You know what I'm saying? So, just watching them last week, man, when they got to be 21-0, and then South Carolina got the ball back driving to go up 28-10, right before they scored, you could just look at their players and like Charlotte said, man, they just look like whatever. It's whatever, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just cut the check. Let me get out the season. So I hope they bring that same lackadaisical attitude to Athens, which we normally handle them pretty good in Athens. It's an early kickoff. I wish it was a little bit later, but just get the dub and move on to the next game, man. That's what I say.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about that is that Kentucky quit, and that's not Mark Stoops. Like, and here's another name. Are we looking at the final days for him in Kentucky? Georgia's coming off a tough loss. Maybe they roll to Athens and get the break speed off of them. What's those conversations looking like in Lexington? So.
Right, because Shawty, didn't you say, you think Stoops done quit on the program? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
like I said, man, I'm like a Nostradamus sometimes. I miss a lot, but I be way ahead of my time. Like I said the week before, I was telling you guys the South Carolina game and the Kentucky game came down to what team was gonna quit on their coach. And literally Kentucky came out and quit on their coach. So I think South Carolina team has quit on the coach, and I think Mark Stoops has quit on the program. I don't think he feel like he gets what he needs to be successful, and he can do better somewhere else. And I think it's a done deal. And this is a great game. I'm glad it's going on because we need this kind of game to kind of get back and get our bearings back, in this homecoming too. So right. I think it's gonna be a game where we come back and try to get some things established. And to what I was saying about one of these other games where Gunnar Stockton is gonna get a chance to get some looks in this game. He's gonna get a chance to throw the ball around the yard a little bit to try to, he's gonna get some looks. So I appreciate Kentucky being down. I'm not sad for them, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, they are the worst team in the league. And I hope they keep Stoops. I hope he stay. I know he ain't gonna stay there, but I hope he stay there. Cause Kentucky, they had an identity, at one point in time that I would give the Stoops is at the end of the day, they were a physical team. Right. I can guarantee, I can tell you any Georgia player that played against Kentucky, they would tell you at the end of the day, that was a tough game no matter what the score was. And that's gone. And when you don't have that, it's time to reboot the system.
Yep. And BNG said, will UGA be focused? Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, that's one thing I say about Kirby is that good at getting this team focused. I mean, we didn't play our best. Of course, we had opportunities to win against Bama, but Bama just came in Athens, did what they did, and beat us again. But that's nothing new. I mean, not for nothing. That's nothing new for Georgia. You know what I'm saying? We've gone on to beat people after Bama. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So it's like, I guess a good question. I mean, Alabama got Vandy this week, and I know we're going to talk about them later, but we'll see if that might be a good question for Bama because
So I'm going to give my take on this game real quick. RIP Kentucky, because I would not want to be just like when Saban was there. Kirby mirrors that, in my opinion. When he comes off a loss that he feels like they probably shouldn't have lost, it's going to be hell to pay that following week. And I feel like Kentucky. 101st in the nation in defense, something they used to pride themselves on, by the way. Absolutely cannot, they can't stop the run or pass, to be honest with you. In my opinions, when I saw Bowens against Alabama last week, I'm like, where the hell has this guy been? Because this dude is phenomenal. Right? So my biggest question from this is not Georgia winning or, it's definitely going to be by how much and does Stoops survive this game? Because
that's a good question.
If you quit against Georgia, this won't be, a 21, 24, 27-point game. This is going to be a 45 to 52-point game separation here, right? It's going to get ugly pretty quick if this team rolls over.
I can tell you this, expect to see a lot of running. Like you say, their rush defense is not good. No. And we run the ball good. So expect to see, Kirby's got definitely try to establish a tone. It's not even about the scoreboard for Kirby. He is establishing a tone to say, hey man, we coming in here, we're going to hit you in the mouth and that's what we're going to do. And I think it'll eventually draw some, if they care about it, draw some of the safeties up, and then like Shawty said, gonna have some chance to go over the top. But they played a lot of zone against South Carolina, so that's not gonna be good for their front either.
No, and
I
this
really feel like we're gonna have a Kent State. Like I feel like we're going to play like a Kent State. I hate to say it. Like we're gonna be wild. Like you finna see all kind of players play. We're finna see all kind of plays called. Like it's gonna be some stuff that you just don't normally do. We're finna get looks. This is a stat game.
Right. Shout out to Trojan Fight getting in. What's going on, Trojan Fight? Listen, Trojan Fight, I'm gonna step outside the SEC for a minute. Y'all let me down, man. I took y'all on doggone college football. Man. What the world? Come on, man. Like y'all don't convince me to jump on board and then lose the doggone Illinois, man. Listen, man. Don't come on, Trojan Fight, man. Go talk to the boosters or something, man. Get it together up there, man. We can't be losing to Illinois, dog. Go ahead, Jay Lou.
But my last point to this is I would be real interested to see if this is, once again, if Stoops gets fired, does that affect Napier getting fired? This is like almost like a.
That's what I'm saying. Like I could tell you, if Stoops get fired and they haven't pulled the trigger on Napier, barring Napier loses to Texas, I'm telling you, just more pressure because another position is open for another candidate to take a look at. That, like, at some point, again, I always go back to it. I know Stat don't like hearing it, but that kind of happened when South Carolina let Will Muschamp go. Georgia say, all right, we've been thinking about letting Mark Richt go. And Kirby interviewing in Columbia, they say, pull the trigger, man. We got to get Kirby up in here, man, because that dude was 1 foot in Columbia. So
I didn't know that, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Literally about to take the job.
I did not know that.
So if you would ever like to take your so-called shot at me, that is the shot you can take.
Bro,
that is
I didn't know that.
the knife.
Yes, like his wife did an interview. Mary Beth did an interview. Like she said that we was ready to pull the trigger.
Wow.
But, hey,
the day before he was going to sign the contract, Georgia called and asked to interview. He told South Carolina give him a week. 2 days later, he was a dog. I'm like, bro,
he lied to their face when he said that.
Right, he didn't need no week. He knew once he got the call, it was a wrap, dog. So,
but I guess he didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's all about timing, and like I say, not only do you have other jobs coming open, you have SEC jobs coming open. Now,
and then let's talk about a Kentucky. Like who does? I don't know what. I'm sorry, I'm not going to mess up the segment, but who does a Kentucky draw in when we're talking about head coaches? You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is why I say I understand what you're saying about that, because it's Kentucky football, and they obviously going to show you the basketball is forever king in Kentucky. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about some of those guys that haven't had a chance to be a head coach, and you say UCLA, Virginia Tech, or Kentucky in the SEC, like it's all about the SEC though. Like they want to coach. Like Gruden already talked about this. I'm not saying he's gonna get a job, but he talking about coming into. I don't think that's a good fit for college football, but that's just my opinion. But a lot of like Pete Golden, he ain't been no head coach yet. It's like these guys in the SEC, man. People are like, that's why Jeff Levy jumped on the Mississippi State job. I mean, who they drawing in? You know what I'm saying? Now look at Jeff Levy. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of pressure out here on these coaches, dog. I mean, on these ADs.
I was gonna say too, you got some guys in that group of 5, group of 6, whatever you want to call it. Some are all at Tulane. Like a guy like that, if Kentucky's the first one in the SEC to call and get on the train, you might have a real shot at getting him. Now,
the guy in Memphis, you right down the road. He's already in that recruiting ground.
Right. So you got guys like that. Now you hope then you can get them on campus and get them to fall in love with Lexington and hope they kind of lay roots to the city. If not, you might only have them 3 or 4 years before they're off for a better job. But end of the day, that's best case scenario for you, because if your coach is taking a better job, then your program is in a better place than when he found it.
Right. It has to be. Right.
When you say take the Kentucky job, I'll be honest with you. Considering I was in San Antonio, to me, that's a Jeff Traylor job. He's done an amazing job at UTSA.
That's what I'm saying. Right. And he's a good coach. That's what I'm saying. He go to Kentucky. Even if he looking a bigger, better deal, he's going to be there for at least 4 years, 3-4 years. And like Stat said, if he actually getting an offer, that means he's doing good in Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So I think Shorty said it on another show, is like lead the program better than you found it. And I think Kentucky at this point, again, they're always going to put basketball first, just like a Duke. You know, Duke, Manny Diaz is doing pretty good at Duke, but he always going to come second to basketball, regardless of who make the most money. So I think it's an attractive job from that aspect. Now, if you got a whole bunch of SEC jobs open, then Kentucky fall to the bottom of the map. You know what I'm saying?
And so that brings the question: you got to be looking down in Gainesville, knowing that trigger's getting pulled at some point this year. Do you beat them to the punch so you get the first interviews?
Right.
So if who would y'all pick? Who you think goes first, Stoops or Napier? Who gets the phone call first?
Napier. If they both losing, Napier.
Yeah, because Florida you got more pressure at Florida.
There's way more pressure at Florida. Right. No matter how good they basketball team doing, it's all about football. Trojan fight. Have you not been watching the Dogs? Go back and watch the Tennessee game. I'm not gonna tell you how many catches and all that stuff. Just watch the Tennessee game. He literally only had one bad game, and I ain't gonna say he had a bad game against Bama. He just didn't have no touchdowns. Like
he trolling.
Right. Like he just mad because he thought Branch wasn't going to do nothing in Georgia, and Branch literally lead the nation up until the Bama game. I got to check the stats, but he led the nation in reception yards per catch, or led the SEC. My bad. Led the SEC in reception yards per catch. So, like I told you, we wasn't going to throw it to him down the field, dog. We're going to get that ball to him right now. Let him work his magic. Y'all should have.
And then last on the docket tonight, we got the game of the week, College GameDay. The Commodores heading down to Title Town. Can they do it 2 years in a row?
This is the thing. Can they focus? Again, we already know it's not a problem for Bama to get up for Georgia. It's not a problem for Georgia to get up for Bama. You know what I'm saying? It's like we know what each other gonna bring. I think this year they see Vandy coming. I don't know if they really believed it last year, but I think they see Vandy coming this year.
Go ahead, Shorty.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say well, because I know you clearly got some of your mind on this one. No, I'm gonna say I'm very intrigued about this game. Like we talked about the Mississippi State game and Texas A&M. I think this game is just very intriguing. You and I think that way looking at the emblems on the helmet, but if you look at the recent history, speaking of last year and this year, and even with the way Vandy has been playing, they have had a roster change as well, just like Mississippi State. They don't look like this. This is not your same Vandy. And I think this is going to be a game about Poppy. I mean, I think he's going to probably run the ball maybe 17 times and maybe throw it 20 to 30 times. I think it's going to be all about Poppy. I think Coach has said it in some previous shows that Vandy has won these games and there has not been any with Poppy or Magic or something like that. I think this is the game where we sprinkle that Poppy fairy dust, and it's going to be all about him. But ultimately, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Bama is going to win this game because I think Bama has started just like Texas A&M to round out and to form, and we're starting to see Bama kind of become what they need to be. I just think it took a little time. And I like Bama in this game ultimately.
So for me, the big thing to look out for is going to be Vandy on third downs, and can Bama get them off the field? We already know that's how they absolutely murdered my Gamecocks, had me ready to break my TV. The thing about Vandy is their offense is so frustrating because they go window shopping every single play, multiple guys in motion, giving you multiple looks, and they are going to chew the clock while just sitting back under center. And it's just frustrating to watch. It's not like they have long cuddles or anything. They get lined up and just sit. And so it's frustrating because I think in today's age of college football, we see so much no huddle, so much pedal to the metal, that you get this slow tempo, but they rush to the line and then just sit there. You just kind of get antsy. So can Bama get off the field on third downs is going to be a huge key. If not, and Vandy can control the time of possession, this game is going to be a lot closer than it should be and could lead to problems in that fourth quarter.
Yeah. So I look, I'm not the Bama fan that's going to sit here and say we're going to blow Vandy out because Pavia is a good quarterback for that system. There's no doubt. There's no denying what Pavia brings, right? He's not a fluke. The guy can clearly ball. He's a football player. That's what he is. And I believe that it's a mixture of flex bone with veer and shoot. That is a good system to run. Why? Because how often are you going to prepare? It's like playing Georgia Tech. How often are you going to prepare for a team that runs that offense, right? And then you take into account you're playing a defense that seems to lack discipline, right? So especially our linebackers, Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson, and those guys. Yeah, exactly. So like run fits are not their strong point, right? So what we need is Tim Keenan in that defensive line to actually take up space, right? Fill those gaps without bringing the linebackers immediately downhill. What you're probably going to see is an overhang safety. Bray Hubbard has been blowing people up lately, controlling one side of the field, right? But it all comes down to eye discipline, guys. We know when you play this style of offense, it comes down to just discipline. Stay at home, right? You're going to see a base defense. Stay in your gap and do your job. This is the simplest way I could possibly put it. I'm not worried about our offense. Our offense is going to score on them just like they did last year, right? And Vanderbilt, and I'm not taking nothing away from Vanderbilt. They have not played anybody this year. Let's be real. Utah State just hung like 35 on them. So, like, I'm not worried about our offense scoring on them. What I'm worried about is can our defense, once again, remain disciplined? Can they learn from last year to this year? Look, if our defense looks like they did last year, this year with Kane Womack, basically the same defense, something's got to happen, bro. Because I ain't putting up with this crap. I can't deal with Vandy fans for another year. All right. So, and to me, this is a chance for Alabama to make a staple on. We're not back because I don't believe you're going to be back to what you were with Saban, but it's like you're still Alabama. You still got to be respected to some extent, and you got to go out there and pop them in the mouth to do it. If these guys come out here and hang around in Tuscaloosa and pull this crap again, not even winning the game, but keeping it close, I'm going to be doubting this team all season at this point. What's your grit? What's your grind? What's your want? Because it must not be there that much. Because these players have been talking shit since last year.
They have.
What's going to get you up?
Shout out to Coach Carr getting into my new here. You guys are smart. Clowning. Man, I think the key is can y'all stop Vandy from running the ball? That's because like you had said it prior to the game, that your rush defense wasn't that great. That's the only thing. If they can't run the ball, then they don't have a chance in this game. If they can run the ball, then maybe they keep the first half close. You know what I'm saying? I just think Ty's playing at a high level. Also, can you guys run the ball? I don't know how good Vandy is at stopping the run, but I think Jam is of course going to be healthier and healthier each week. And again, it's not going against the Georgia front, but Vandy's front ain't no slouch. I ain't saying that you can just run all over them, but I think it still would be good for y'all to establish a run early. Because if that's the case, then they're worried about the run, then Ty will pick them apart. You know what I mean?
Coach, speaking of Ty, they feel so great about Ty. They got Ty plus or minus 296 yards passed.
Ooh, they say Ty going to tear him up.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Vandy's back end is not good. So that's probably why. And I'll be honest with you.
I took the under.
I don't blame you. And you know why I would take the under? Because I don't think he's gonna be on the field that long.
Oh, there it is.
I gotta put the glasses on a little bit. Come on now. I'll have them completely off all the time.
What's the spread? What's the spread in this game? What's the spread in this game?
I got it right here. Hang on. Oh my gosh, 10.5 Alabama.
I was just about to say it's got to be double digits, right?
Yeah, it's 10.5. I think it'll be more than that.
Now, one thing I will say that unfortunately we didn't take advantage of when we had the opportunities is with Pavia Magic comes him putting the ball where the ball shouldn't be. I mean, he will take chances with the football in his hands, whether it's pitching it late on the option after looking like he's kept it, whether it looks like an option, he's about to go down and he throws it 4 yards down the field. He takes a lot of unnecessary chances to try to gain 1 yard instead of just getting what he can get. And if y'all can get a turnover off of one of those, I think it's backbreaking because not only do you get the turnover, get the ball back, keep your offense moving, but it's kind of a gut punch to them because at least so far this year, he can do no wrong. And so if you can kind of put him in the blender a little bit, we're going to see what Vandy's actually made of.
But I think to that point,
Sorry,
they've been in the game with everybody or leading the game with everybody. If Alabama jumps out on them 14 and like they did Georgia, I think then you start to see him press a little bit, like doing those plays where he going down and he tossing it while he going down, because now the pressure's on him to score. Now if they score, Bama score, they score, Bama score, regardless of field goals, touchdowns, whatever. Then I don't think he feels the pressure. But if Bama jumps out on them early,
he's in the comfort zone.
Yeah, that's not gonna be good for them because they've played like a team, all trenches, offense, defense, wide receivers, DBs, 5 year. But again, they haven't been down huge either. So
and to my credit, when he played South Carolina, Lenore Sellers almost didn't play the game at all, right?
He got hurt in the second quarter.
Yeah, he got hurt in the second quarter.
So people blow that, in my opinion, kind of out of proportion to how he handled South Carolina. I'm like, well, who's behind Lenore Sellers?
Right, but Lenore Sellers doesn't play defense and didn't keep them from going 16 of 19 on third down.
So so your defense was that because I didn't watch that whole
game.
It was South Carolina they're not good at stopping the run.
Yeah, but you still lose the Heisman tight. I mean, that's the same argument we had that angle. You know what I mean?
But back to my point that I made that original Monday, before the injury, we were losing that football game. Now, it wasn't going to be ugly, but we were never winning that football game once they went up 14-7. So, and that's
I just can't say that, man. I just can't comfortably say that when you got your starting quarterback.
Exactly.
But to my point, though, he doesn't play defense, and we couldn't get off the field. And so that's why I bring up that point as far as time of possession. Vandy isn't a chunk play team. Like their big play is like 12 and 14 yards. They're not going to hit you for 40 and 60 yards and be in field goal range. Their drives, they might go 11 plays, where most people maybe 11 plays, you're looking hopefully 5 or 6 minutes or so. Vandy's going to go 11 plays like 9 or 10 minutes. Right. And because you're taking 40 seconds in between each play, they do not care.
I feel like that's what crippled Georgia. When we played you guys last week in that first half, it was just, I'll be honest with you, I felt like I blinked and that first half was over. Mm-hmm. Like it just felt like we held on to the ball for the whole first half.
Y'all had the time of possession easy in the first half, but then I think
y'all went on a 28 play.
Right.
Drive.
The first two drives was 14 and 13 each.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So then I think that's key for playing us is like you mentioned earlier, Stat Guy, like or whoever mentioned earlier, like if you can establish a drive on Alabama, especially run, because look, we can't stop a damn nosebleed when it comes to running the ball, right? So that's got to somehow get fixed. But I do feel like we're to the point now that we feel like we're playing what we know how to play comfortably with, which is you may be able to run the ball on us, but you're going to have to be patient enough to drive down the field without making a mistake, right? So we're going to play good coverage, and you're just going to have to slowly take what you get.
Right. I think if Vandy's going to stay in the game, that's going to be it. And so far this year, again, they haven't been put in those situations where they're trying to come from behind from, a touchdown or more. But if they can go field goal for field goal, touchdown for touchdown at the beginning, that's what they're going to try to do. I actually think they're going to try to take the air out of the ball. They go no huddle, but they're not hurrying up. You know what I'm saying? They let the clock run down because they're actually trying. It's almost like they're playing keep away from y'all,
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But no, I give them credit, though. Vandy's not the old Vandy. I think they got a great coach there in Clark Lee. Like, I think – they're just doing a good job, and they have a bigger offensive line in the past. They have a bigger defense. I'm not saying it's Georgia or Alabama, but they're definitely bigger and better.
I think Alabama covers easy, to be honest with you.
And I'm just hypothetically, could he take another job in the SEC, or he would stay at Vandy?
He's a Vandy guy.
I know he's a Vandy guy. I mean, I get it, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think
mine have a tendency to make folk do all kind of stuff, but I got you. I'm with you. I just want to throw it out there.
Now, the guy that I could see taking another job in the SEC is the offensive coordinator, Tim Beck.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like Kentucky or Florida. That's what I'm saying. Like
He could get
it's gonna be a
one of
lot of coordinators, young guys that ain't
Kelly. I would go after Kelly if I were Kentucky.
got the Kelly from
Oh,
LSU.
no, our tight end coach. I don't know why I thought he led.
Hartley.
Todd Hartley. I would go after him if I were Kentucky.
It's a couple of people I go after before Todd Hartley.
And I'm giving,
but I'm also the type that I'm not gonna give a position coach a head job. That's just me. You gotta be a coordinator. That's just how I would do it. So, but personal preference always comes into effect when we talk about things like that. So, right.
It ain't just about Trump. It ain't just about the X and the O with Harley for me.
Right.
I got people in front of him too, but
yeah, I get you. You saying like he can hire somebody?
Addition by subtraction type of thing.
Yeah, I get you. So
I'm interested to see what Lane Kiffin does with Pete Golding.
I'm interested to see what Lane Kiffin does if the Florida job does become open.
I don't think he goes.
It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
I don't think so. But again, you said money talking. I can tell you, I don't care what they paying Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. Florida definitely can top that. But I think he has less pressure at Ole Miss. So but
the path seems easy. I know they're in the conference, but the path just seems easier.
Right, but I've been in those situations thinking coaches like, why would you leave here to go here? Because the path is easier. You got it. Basically, you can write your own ticket. Like I feel like as long as Lane winning 8+ games, he good at Ole Miss. That's not gonna get it in Jacksonville. But I thought the same thing about Charlie Strong, and he still take them zeros.
He ain't playing.
Well, right.
I think Lane Kiffin's the next Gary Patterson.
Just gonna be there forever.
Yeah, exactly. He was at TCU for 25 years, it felt like. So
just never win.
I don't know, coach. I mean, like they look, I mean, everybody got their flaw. It's just like the way the landscape is changing.
Well, I just said that because he said Gary Patterson. Gary Patterson never won.
Normally by this time of the year, you normally kind of like be like, okay, I know what teams are. I got my top 6, 7, 8 teams. Yeah. Now I still don't know.
I told Stat that yesterday. I don't know. Listen, man, you told me you had a gun in my head right now. You just have to shoot me to pick a national championship winner, dog. For real, dog.
I can tell you who's not going to win the national championship.
Kentucky.
Them damn Clemson Tigers.
So
yeah, I was about to say that'd be easier telling you who not gonna win, but to say like one team right now has looked better than everybody, there isn't a team out there that has looked better than everybody when you take into account who they've played, where they've played, how they've played. Everybody look beatable at this point. Just depends on the styles and the fights they get into. You know what I'm saying? So
Benji summed it up right there.
I did it. I put out a stat out there on one of I think it was on my show that for the past, I forgot what it was, the past 15, 20 years, every year there's a team in the top 10 that's ranked in the AP top 10, don't finish ranked. And it looks like it's going to be Clemson this year.
Right. Coach Carl, you say UGA, Kentucky, Texas, Florida. You're getting in late, my guy. You have to be on the replay game, man. Those games, we saved the game of the weekend for last, man. Vandy and Bama. You know what I'm saying? Game day.
Game day. Guys, look.
I told y'all that last Saturday, though, J. Lou.
I know you did, man, but look, let's be.
Okay, look at it like this. Look at it like this, J. Lou. Where else they going to
go? Damn, man. I mean, that is.
They're gonna go to Miami, Florida State right after Florida State lost to Virginia on.
No, you're right. It's because of who's playing. I understand that, but it's just a anchor down. Vandy's on game day.
Listen, I figured like this. Vandy's
based on recent history too.
Right. Yeah. Vandy's undefeated. It's in Tuscaloosa, so that's always a good place for ESPN to do game day. Yeah. Bama just coming off of a huge win against Georgia in Athens, breaking the streak. It just only makes sense because the only other game that could even be possible is, like I say, Mississippi. There's a Big Ten game going on. I forget, but it's in Indiana. No, that's next weekend. Indiana and Oregon. This weekend, I don't even think there's any marquee Big Ten games.
Yeah, it's just not a great weekend for high level football.
It's not a bad weekend, but they're only being 5 SEC games hurt. Obviously, you got Florida State, Miami in the ACC. The other, now I will say, I do believe if Mississippi State would have beaten Tennessee Saturday,
well, that's different. That's
I
different.
think the game would have been an A&M.
Yeah, I think they go there if Mississippi State beats it. And then I looked at it like this: win or lose, when is Vandy gonna ever get another shot to have game day?
80 years.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like they got to take it while they can get it. So it's gonna be interesting. It ain't gonna be no Vandy fan. You know how when they do game day, even though it's in Alabama, there's always fans from the other team. There ain't gonna be no Vandy fans in the crowd. I think SEC Nation. I need to see where they going. They might go to that Mississippi State A&M game.
Going.
Yeah. So I that.
I was gonna say, let's jump on over to predictions.
Let's do it.
Got our predictions ready. So first up, we got Mississippi State at A&M. You're looking at A&M being a 6.5 point fave, 7.5 point fave, I believe.
Let me look that up. Hold on.
To the A&M game.
Yeah,
I got it right here. 14.5 point favorites. A&M.
Oh, 14.5 A&M. Woof.
I don't like that.
Give me Mississippi State in the points. I think A&M probably win this game because they can run better than Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State definitely has a better passing offense. I think Mississippi State has a serviceable defense, but I think A&M has a better defense. But give me Mississippi State to cover that 14.5. That's just me.
100%.
I like Mississippi State to cover the points as well. But I like Texas to win this. Texas A&M to win this game 24-20.
What you taking, Stat?
For me, I'm actually taking Mississippi State straight up. I think they're going to come off the moral victory against Tennessee and get them a real victory this weekend. But I think it's going to be an A&M style game. Mississippi State's just going to get them at it, and I'm taking Mississippi State 21-17.
Yeah, I got 27-21.
It is.
A&M.
Okay.
All righty, Kent State at Oklahoma, 45.5 points for the Sooners. Is anyone taking Oklahoma to cover?
Give me Kent State the points. OU 31-38-0.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. I don't expect them to cover that spread, but I do think they're going to beat them pretty convincingly. I would say Oklahoma, 38-10.
38-10. I think I'm going to have to take. I'm
a lot of
45. It's a lot of points. That's
you taking the 45?
I'm taking the 45.5. And the reason why I say this is because Kent State has just looked that bad this year, and I don't know. I don't usually.
How long do you play Hawkins? You weren't gonna play Hawkins the whole game.
I don't think you don't need to, bro. Have you seen that Kent State defense?
Oh well, you ain't been able to run the ball.
Oh, trust me, they're about to run the ball.
I'm taking Kent State. Give me Kent State in the 45.5. I think this game is like 31 or 35-3. I think they'll get a late field goal or whatever, 31-35.
Right, when OU done subbed it out.
Yeah, they're gonna sub. Yeah, they're gonna be
I think they control the game start to finish. I just don't think the scoreboard shows it.
All right. 45 a lot, boy. So
yeah, a lot of points.
Texas at Florida.
I think this is
6.5.
Wow! Texas is favorite at Florida. It's hard to win in the swamp, but give me the Longhorns to win by exactly 7.
Mine's easy. Give me the Longhorns to win, and it's going to be by more than 14 easily. I think.
Woo.
Me too. I know how I used to be in the swamp. But I like Texas 31-10.
Woo! Get them up out of here, Napier. Get them up. Pack it up. Pack it up, Napier.
I'm with you on that one, Shorty. Almost exact same score.
What have we been saying? Like, this ain't your daddy's Mississippi State. This ain't your granddaddy's Vanderbilt. This isn't your uncle's swamp. You can win a football game in there these days. I'm taking Texas with the absolute blowout. Give me Texas 42-10. Billy Napier is fired by midnight.
Hey, this ain't the swamp. What they used to wear them? What they used to call them blue jean shorts? They used to wear them shorts. They don't wear shorts.
Jorts.
Well, this ain't the same,
bro. Swamp getting drained, bro.
Right.
Kentucky at Georgia. Georgia is a 20.5-point fave, and the Dogs beat them by 3 tutties.
Give me the Dogs at home to cover. I usually don't pick the Dogs to cover, but against Kentucky, again, the closest game in the last 7 times in Athens was 21-0. I think that's actually where the 20.5 came from. So yeah, give me the Dogs 35-13.
Shot it.
Oh man, I'm trying to sit here and do some math because I don't think we cover.
All right, well, I'll skip you then, Jay Lou.
No, I'm gonna give a score. I think this whether we cover now, I ain't did the math, but I think we win this game. It's gonna be like 34-13.
You covered then.
We covered then.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't do the math. Well, 34-15. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
34-16.
Yeah, we ain't gonna cover. You know?
Right, got you.
I'll be honest with you. I don't see this game even being ever close. They don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball. They don't have an offensive line. I mean, go and look at their quarterback, guys. Like, it's not going to be good. Like, you're one. What's up?
I'm glad you said it because I got them in my pick. They had them for a plus or minus 125. I took the plus. 125 yards.
So either way, I think this is minimum. I want to say more, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say 38-7, and that's being nice.
Well, since you being nice, I'll let you be nicer than me because I had it 38-6. I think they hold him to 2 field goals.
I don't think he threw for 125 yards in 4 quarters against us.
He's bad.
I know him. 125.
True freshman against Kirby.
Okay.
And they have no receivers.
Ben G asked about is anybody worried about the rain in Gainesville for the Texas-Florida game? So it's supposed to be 35% chance of rain, but it also says light rain. If it was like, a normal rain or heavy rain, I would say, well, this is the thing. I think Texas got, like, normally it takes the athleticism out of the game if you have a wet field. But I think Texas got good running backs, and I think Florida got a good running back. But then it comes down to who can stop the run. And if you ask me that, Texas stopped the run better than Florida, at least in my opinion. So I don't think it affects the outcome of the game. Maybe the score, possibly. But I don't think it affects the outcome. And then you say, yes, you are right. You answered your own question. As far as the pass is concerned, it's only close in Lexington. Like I said, the closest game in the last 7, I didn't go past the last 7 times in Athens, was 21-0. That was the closest game.
Yeah.
And that was a thunderstorm game 2019 when DeAndre Swift, I think we had to hand it off to him like 40 times or something like that.
Now, the only thing I will say about the weather, it's still early in the week. The storms off the coast could still change their mind and do different things. If you get like that Georgia Kentucky style game, or if they're playing in a tsunami, that is completely different. You can throw everything out the window at that point. But
I think at that point it's only a 6.5. This is we're talking about Texas, Florida. It's only a 6.5 point spread. I think all of you guys pick blowouts. If it rains really hard, I just think they cover the spread, like I said, by 7.
I'll be honest with you. Is Billy Napier still calling the plays? Then I'm not even going to have a discussion about it.
It don't matter if it's snowing.
Yeah, you're right. It could be
I'd snow in October in Gainesville, Lord. Don't say that, because if it's snowing in Gainesville, it means it's probably snowing where we at, and I ain't ready for no snow.
Yeah, I just watched the Day After Tomorrow movie, so let's not do that.
And finally, to close things out, of course, the game of the week, Vandy at Bama. What's the spread on that one, Jonathan?
500-0. No, I'm joking around, guys. The spread, I believe, was 10.5.
10.5.
They in Bama.
10.5.
Yeah, they're in Tuscaloosa. Give me Bama to cover. 31-17.
I'll go last on this one.
Shorty.
I like Bama. Damn, Coach said 34. I like Bama 31-20.
Cover just by the hook.
I see Benji. I see your comment. You're taking Vandy money line, me, and you're taking them straight up. Look, man, if you can't beat them, join them. Give me Vandy in the money line too. Give me Vandy 24-20.
Oh, straight up. Coach Carl said 38-17. He thinking about like me. I think in the first half they give y'all a little something, and then y'all start pulling away in the second half.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take more than 10.5 here. I'm thinking, I'll be honest with you, Coach Carl, it's kind of where I was lining up at. I'll be honest with you, I'm looking more. I'm taking 41. I'm thinking 41-21 is what I'm looking at, and that's because Ty is on a roll, and Vandy's secondary is not doing so well right now.
They predicting Ty to go off. I told they had them plus or minus 296 yards.
Nice, yeah.
I mean,
Benji said "Viva Pabia."
Well, let's see how
I think Vandy's gonna slow it down too much though. To that point, I don't know if he's gonna have enough opportunity.
That's why I think Alabama's gonna control the game, but I think because of how they play, it just takes possession.
Yeah,
away.
I guess you're right. Yeah. I'll go back to 38. I'll go to 38-17 with Coach Carl. Then I'll take it with
now if the defense gets some turnovers for Bama, it could turn into some 40 points. That's different. I can't account for that, but I just think they're gonna take the air out of the ball, even if they're not scoring. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be less opportunities to hit that 40-point mark.
Because at the end of the day, ain't nothing you can do to stop them. You can just run the play clock down on every
right. Like I say, they don't even huddle, but they run the play clock down to like 8 seconds each time.
with a bunch of motion, and they'll run motion just to run motion, and then run another motion before they hike. Like it's not like somebody's coming across, the ball's getting hiked. Man, they do that 2 or 3 times in one sequence before hiking it.
Right.
I'll just leave it at this. This is where Vandy's magic goes away.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh,
like that.
Turn them back into your granddaddy's Vandy.
Right, I like that. Simple, but stern. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, fellas, before we get out of here, Shotty, you got any final thoughts? I want to let the people know what you got going on or where they can find you.
Oh yeah, man. First of all, I appreciate the panel for having me on as a guest, man. It was always very actually I enjoyed this show more than some of the recent ones I've done. I enjoyed this cast, man. It was very enlightful. You know what I'm saying? It was very what's the word I use? Enlightening. But it's something. But anyway, with that being said, I enjoyed it, man, a lot, man. I learned a lot. It was pretty cool. You can catch me tomorrow night. We went on tonight, Just My Damn Opinion. You can find me tomorrow night, me, Cal, and the crew. Just My Damn Opinion. We'll be talking about some SEC football as well. And of course, you can find me on Respect the Hedges. And shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
informative. That's what I was thinking about. It was very informative. That's
awesome. Jonathan, man, we always appreciate you being on. Let the people know where they can find you and what you got going on.
Find me on the Bama Standard Network at JLewis85 on X, guys. I really appreciate the invite. Coach I, Shorty, Stat Guy. You know what I mean? Been knowing you guys for a while now. It's always I love getting on here and talking football, man. We just talk football and we get to the grind, right? So no big
vibe, man. That's what I mean. I enjoyed this better than some of the other shows. It was just a different vibe, very informative, man.
Exactly. So I appreciate the invite. Appreciate everybody in that comment section. Benji, you know what I mean, Coach Carl, all you guys leaving the comments, supporting the channel here. So make sure to hit that subscribe button here too as well. Anything Fanatic Sports. So appreciate the invite, guys.
Appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate Stat Man for holding it down while your boy was out. Appreciate y'all guys coming on. Shawty, J. Lou, man. Me and Shawty talk about this all the time. I love talking football and not around football.
Exactly.
So definitely love the panel. Appreciate everybody in the comments, everybody on Facebook, on the YouTubes. Make sure y'all subscribe to Just My Damn Opinion as well and catch him tomorrow night. Also, you got Stat Guy and the Stat Line coming up tomorrow talking South Carolina football. They got a bye week coming off a dub, so it probably feel good.
Mhm.
Yeah, you think so, man. I'm still ready to throw everything off the roof. We'll see. I appreciate y'all coming on. I appreciate my boy Coach I. Hit me up, put me in the pressure cooker. Be like, hey, you run the show tonight, right? I guess so. That ain't it ain't knowing my cup of tea, but it's always fun to chop it up with y'all. I just like talking football, but yeah, y'all check me out right here on the Fan Addict Sports Network tomorrow night. It's a bye week, so we're gonna do another little State of the Union, see if the fan base is feeling better after kind of righting the ship a little bit with the win against Kentucky and what we are expecting now as we enter the hell week that is our 5-game stretch.
Mm.
Yeah,
But,
man.
a lot of teams entering a hell of a stretch,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's listen, man. Going forward, it's just not getting any easier. You got transfer portal people out here. Well, we got 9 SEC games plus another game. It's good football for fans though. As a college football fan, we're gonna see a lot of good football going forward. So I'm always for that. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate everybody coming out. And again, check out Just My Damn Opinion tomorrow, Stat Line tomorrow. Catch Jonathan here or at the Bama Standard or Coach Sean and Just My Humble Opinion. Brinsky's Sharpshooters, Pot Sports Talk, all that good jazz, man. On the Block Sports with Coach Carl. We appreciate you getting in. Ben G, appreciate you getting in. Stevie G, Trojan Fight, man. Anybody that's watching on Facebook, all that good jazz, man. And until next time, we out of here.
Peace.